What's crapping in fun seekers? I'm going to get straight to the point this time and skip the long-winded intro about this 1984 Nissan Datsun 300ZX Turbo. I think some people call these a Z31 or S31, something like that. I'm not really much of a Nissan guy. I was more of a Datsun guy. This was a transition year between Datsun and Nissan. And this is a really cool car. This car was sitting in a industrial barn in Sarasota, Florida for about, I think the tag expired in 2011. But since I'm on a roll here with all this junk, I'm gonna just keep moving the battery and the starting fluid from one car to the next and trying to get all these things fired up. But we'll do a quick walk around. I'll throw some brake cleaner down the pie hole, put a fresh battery in it, or the freshest battery I have available, and see if we can't do something with it, see if the headlights work. You know, kind of a fun thing with cars. My name's Jason, and this is Grease Belly Garage. Come on. There we go. Come on, baby. When these cars came out, this was the first year of this car. 83 ended the 280ZX. I was kind of mesmerized by these cars when they came out, actually. And a fun fact, my most favorite teacher I ever had in high school had one of these cars that he just cherished. His name was Mr. Wadle, and I hope I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but he was a great teacher. Chemistry, anatomy, and physiology. He had one of these cars. He used to talk to me about it because I was a car guy in high school, and he just loved it. And I think he had that until not that many years ago. This car has actually held up really well. The guy that I got it from was some kind of genius engineer guy, and I think he really enjoyed driving it. Here's the Nissan Turbo, Nissan here, but down here it says Datsun. This is the only rust I've seen on this car, but I think it's underneath this spoiler a little bit. The rear wiper is missing. All of my guys that are my age will remember the AAA stickers that were stuck everywhere in the 80s, maybe even in the 90s. This car does not have a busted taillight. There's our tag expiration, June of 2011. Newport Datsun. That's where this car came from. The only Newport I knew of was a cigarette. Got a little dent here. Got I don't know why some cars have this. It's like a explosion happened out of the gas cap. Turbo graphics on the side. Got T-tops. I've got the original leather bags for those. And at one point, I don't know where it went, but I had a La Bra for this car. I don't know if somebody threw it away, but I lost it. That would be really cool to put back on this when I get it going. I think this may have been an early version of a auto dimming mirror. Let's do the old hatch release and see how that looks. More weather stripping falling. Well, it's a little dirty back here, and I do not trust these lift supports as far as I can throw them. There's where the rust kind of terminated itself on the side here. I don't really know where that comes from on these. I've seen a couple of hatches on these cars do that. You can see right in here. It must get in under the spoiler. Spoiler alert, balanced the hatch on my head. Oh, look at that. Original jack tools. Some kind of straps to hold the T-tops, I assume. I guarantee I'll be putting a fuel pump in this car, and that's where it goes as far as I know. Or maybe that's just the sending unit. You know, a lot of this interior just needs a really good cleaning. I thought the seats were in worse condition than this, but they're really not bad, amazingly. I don't think I can get in this seat until I hook the battery up and see if the seat will go back, because I don't know if I'm going to make it right there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's at least an 8-way adjustable power seat. It's a manual transmission, digital dash. The steering wheel has seen better days. Okay, I got a much better chance of getting in this side. It really looks good on this side. We've got a series of modules, and I don't know what that is. Some kind of electronic wizardry. Marker light. Relays. That looks like possibly a throttle position sensor. It's easier to work on stuff like the old Dodge D100 there because of the carburetor. But I kind of cut my teeth in car repair with what little I know about it at the onset of EFI. So this car's an 84. I was 11 years old when this car came out. And by the time I was doing side work on cars when I was in high school, that would have been around 1989 when cars like this were starting to break. And the parts store that I worked at the time started selling a lot of Tomco fuel injection stuff and throttle position sensors and fuel injectors, and you know, I learned about mass airflow and MAP and all that stuff. I'm a little rusty, but sometimes Japanese cars are really tricky to fix. Door panel looks good. This seat looks really good, except the headrest. This is a lot nicer than I remember it. This is a nice car. We've got every single version of a garage door opener in here, and this might be a life alert. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up, from the 80s. Here's a little better look at our digital dash, and if memory serves me, because I can't see anything, I believe this has, I can barely see it down there, it's 200 and something thousand miles, like 218, something like that. Got a couple of gauges that are canted towards the driver, kind of 280ZX style. Got digital automatic climate control. Guaranteed that doesn't work. This looks like a clock over here. Probably some kind of Bosch-esque radio stereo system, hi-fi. Ashtray has a cigarette lighter in it, but I can pretty much promise you this car hasn't been smoked in. I mean, even that thing looks brand new. We'll put it back in its spot. I hope this car runs good, actually. I'm getting excited about this one. We got a cruise control stalk, got a blinker switch, psychedelic headlight switch over there. I mean, look at how decent that door panel is. That's not bad at all for a, what is this, 84 to 23? 39 years old. I can't believe that. The dash looks pretty decent. Headliner looks good. I think I've actually had these T-tops out before, and I don't think they leak either. They're exceptionally high quality, which is, I've always raved about 80s Japanese cars because they were such good quality. I mean, they really were. I mean, even these, you know, well, this one here's a little cockeyed, or as my mom would say, cockeyed. Even these air conditioning vents are still firm and they seem to work properly. It's just amazing. What's in the glove box here? How do you get in here? What do we got? Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to have to walk back my quality statement, it looks like. We got a selection of pens. Now, inside my garage, I've got AAA cards and road maps and all kinds of cool things that were in this car. There's a loose kick panel under the steering wheel. That's really not a good sign either. That's maybe somebody had that apart trying to chase a electrical problem, but we're fitting to find out. Oh, you know what that is, guys? That's a radar detector that's hardwired. I'm gonna have to leave that there for nostalgia. That's cool. Trying to open a hood on a car, live view. I don't know why I have such a problem with this these days. It's like every one of them is just stuck. I can feel something that wants to move. There it goes. Happy New Year. Okay, had to go off camera and do my vice grip hood support trick. This thing is very complete. V6 turbo. There's no belt on the air compressor. That's the only thing I see missing. Everything else looks good. Now, the beauty about EFI cars is you can basically put a fresh battery in, spray some kind of starting fluid in the intake, and jam the key. And if it runs, you've got, you know, you don't really have to mess with the carburetor or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess you could do that to carbureted cars too. But you basically have a different algorithm. On EFI cars, the first thing you're going to want to check is probably fuel pressure, and then start dialing in your sensors and those kinds of things. Mostly fuel pumps though, and I guarantee you this car needs one. For the sake of time, I grabbed the rusty, pathetic jumper cables I found in the back trunk of the Geo that were free, and I took the battery out of the D100. So I'm going to just jump this if I can see which terminal is which. That should be positive because there's a million wires coming out. When I hook them up to this battery, if it sparks, I know I got it wrong. Oh, there we go. Positive. Let's see what happens. Lots of sparks, but I think that was... Oh, the brake lights are on. That's why. I don't know if that's brake or tail. Looks like brake. Looks a little bright. We've got interior lights, fellas. Look at that. We got something blinking. Probably some kind of security light blinking. I think the brake pedal might be stuck on the floor because somebody foolishly pushed it. The brake lights are definitely stuck on. Don't know why. Probably the brake light switch on the pedal is stuck.
Lights are on.
That is very cool.
Lights are on.
Reminds me of my wife, kinda. Always aim the brake cleaner at your eyeballs when you're trying to stick your needle in there. I think that whoever engineered this needle in this spray tip is the same guy that designed my underwear. It's just a little bit too tight. Okay, I got my flash on my video camera, so I'm sure my battery will be dead in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna jam the headlights on. I did manage to get a little bit of brake cleaner and some kind of an intake vacuum hose. Well,
Lights are on.
I guess that's another project for another day.
On.
Contact. Okay, got the Ram hooked up to the Nissan. I Googled how to put gas in this car. Figured out you got to push down on the same lever that you pull up to open the hatch in the back. You push it down and it opens the gas door. I knew that. I mean, 20 years ago I knew that. I completely forgot about that. Put a couple of gallons in that tank in case. And by the way, that smelled like pure moonshine in that tank. There was something in there that was in there for a long time. I disconnected this booster hose right here, broke it off right there, filled that up with a bunch of brake cleaner. Truck's been running for a little while with those high quality jumper cables hooked to it. So I'm gonna twist on the key again. I'm pretty sure this thing runs. I think I remember, I don't know, the guy told me it ran. I remember something about this. So let's go. I'm going to give it another snoot full of brake cleaner. Looks like something's sprayed all over the place. Give it a really good snout full. Okay, this will give you the full Knight Rider 80s experience here. Here we go. We got digital gauges that seem to work. I mean, look at that. How cool is that? I don't really know what those two gauges do, but all this stuff down here works. I wonder if the radio works. Oh, this might be. Oh, got AC fan. There's high. Wow, we might be onto something with this thing. This is exceptionally cool. Clock is blinking. I don't know how to turn the radio on. There's a power antenna button, it looks like. That does nothing, it's broke.
Lights are on.
Oh, shut up. Funny how it'll start back up for a second. Must be that 10 ounces of brake cleaner I sprayed down the pie hole.
Lights are on.
Now listen, I'm going to take the key out.
Lights are on.
Oh, the headlights are up. They're up.
Lights are on.
Let's go check it out. Well, she was half right. One light is up, one light is down. I think that clicking, well, there's more stuff squirted everywhere. I'll have to check that during the day and see exactly what that is. Okay, we're gonna shut her up. And it went down immediately. But the last time I heard one kind of cycling, and I think it may have been the passenger side. Maybe I need to.
Lights are on.
There's the driver's side's up again.
Lights are on.
Well, it went right down. Maybe some things need to be cleaned and checked on. This car is a keeper, guys. This is gonna be cool. By the way, I bought some cheap lights. These were like 20 bucks a piece. They're called handy lights at Home Depot. And they are handy. They got a hook and they fold. And I think they fold backwards. Definitely gonna, of course there's oil all over it now. I think I'm gonna hang on to these things and try to keep them alive for a while and maybe go get a few more. They're very handy. The assessment of the Nissan Datsun 300ZX Turbo so far is good. I've heard through the years they have turbo seal leaks and all kinds of things like that. I'm sure that car is gonna be, you know, it's gonna have its share of problems for sure, but I'm gonna fix it the best that I can. I really enjoy working on cars like that a lot. It's kind of challenging. A lot of times these EFI cars have ground problems that end up being the entire problem. I seem to get lucky a lot with cars like that. Maybe even better than I do with older stuff with points and condensers and carburetors and all that. I'm gonna call it a success. I've been going through some of these cars. I've got way too many cars, and I've been doing little short segments when I can and trying to keep them a little bit less boring. My love is for the cars anyway, and in Florida we're lucky to find some really good cars that are relatively rust-free, and I've stumbled into hundreds through the years, hundreds literally, and I wanted to just go through and get some of these things up and going and get some kind of direction going. This is therapeutic for me to come out here and do one of these quick and get something fired up. And I got a pretty good system now. I got my golf cart with batteries and all kinds of stuff on it, and I got a cup holder for my drink, my sweet tea. I got tripods and horrible cameras, and you know, my videography skills are marginal at best, but I do the best I can with what I got to work with. I like to cater to the guys that are in my age group that remember these cars and may not have the, I don't know, time or even the skills to do anything with it, and teach younger guys a little bit, you know, you don't have to complicate everything so much. Everything is really simple when you get down to it. So we're gonna call the 300ZX Turbo a success thus far. I realize there's probably some skeletons in the closet that will kick me in what's left of my teeth, and we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. I think probably has bad turbo seals, may need some other maintenance work done to it. It certainly needs a battery. I guarantee it needs a fuel pump and the tank cleaned out. But I do that stuff as simple and as cost effectively as I can. So we're going to be getting fired up on some of this stuff in the coming weeks and months. And I appreciate you guys watching my video. If you have any knowledge about these cars firsthand, or if you just want to give me a big fat thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got even more stuff coming. I've got stuff I haven't even brought to the house yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a long, hot, humid summer here in Florida. And I'm looking forward to get some more good classic metal on the road. I appreciate you guys watching. I will catch you guys on the flip side.
See you next time.
All right.
Tune in again.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.